Yes guys, it's Jando. I'm finally back with the tutorial videos. I took a long hiatus from it, but I'm back now. Going to be posting more regularly, and yeah, let's jump straight into this one. So this is going to be looking at a very modern jump up bass being used a lot at the moment. This kind of style of bass, a lot by Skantia, Similar, and similar producers to them. So yeah, let's jump straight into the preview. This is the sound that we're going to be working on.
This one has to do with the sexual organs.
Yeah, that's the preview. Let's jump straight into the main patch here. Yes guys, before we jump into today's video, I just want to quickly show you the Ultimate Producer bundle available on my store right now and give you a look at what's included. This bundle packs every single sample pack and preset pack I've ever created, meaning you'll get over 250 original samples, hundreds of Serum presets, and so much more. Everything is inspired by the artists like Boo, Kings of the Rollers, Headex, Sota, and so many more. I designed this bundle to help you level up your production skills by giving you an easy access to everything you need to speed up your workflow. Inside you'll find construction kits, Ableton track templates, full track stems, and much more to help you get your ideas down fast. This is on sale right now for only £60, even cheaper if you use code LOVEDNB for 15% off. Let's jump straight into the video. Look very quickly. Yeah, very kind of Skantia style, super sick jump up patch. So yeah, let's show you how I made it. I'm just going to start off by exporting the MIDI file, and this is my little MIDI patch here, starting in F2, up to B2, and then back down to E2 again. Let's jump into a fresh patch right here, and what we're going to do to start off with is we're going to start with that oscillator A and then move on from there. So with that oscillator A, we're going to go to analog, and we're going to do 4088. We're going to pull this down to -2 dB. What I'll do is I'll turn this on so we can listen to it. So we're going to start with 4088 and drop it -2 on the octave there. And then we're going to push our wavetable position here all the way over to the right. Turn on our FM from B. Sound you should be getting. Then we're going to drop our level all the way down to 0. Modulate our LFO1 to the level. And this way we can start shaping the sound a little bit using our LFO. We're going to drop the random all the way down to 0. Next, we're going to move our FM from B here, and we're just going to push it up to 25%. And this is going to be FMing our oscillator B here. So it's not going to be doing anything right now. So we're going to sound the exact same, but once we open up oscillator B and start doing some stuff in there, that's when you'll notice the difference. So that's what we'll do now. We'll open oscillator B up, and we're going to go over to analog basic shapes, and we're going to leave it on the sine wave here. We're going to drop our level to 0 and our random to 0, and that's it. And then we'll have a new sound from using our FM from B. Now have a new sound. Next, we're going to create our LFO shape here. So it's a really basic shape. We make 2 notches here. Put one in this top corner. Do a little ramp like this. And then pull this ramp here down. Makes a little stab bass. We're going to set it to trigger. And then we're going to turn on trip and pull this back to 2 bar T. Now we've almost got the kind of little foghorn set up. Then we're going to go ahead and turn on our sub bass. Drop it -2 octaves. Pull the level all the way down. Turn that LFO to it. And pull that back. We'll do about 35% there. Now we've got some of that low end going on with it. Next, we're going to open up our filter here. Drop down to MISC. We're going to do Foreman 1. Now, when it comes to the filter here, this is what the main variable is to changing the sound of the bass, like as much as possible. So messing around with the cutoff of the filter is going to massively change the sound of the bass. So you kind of got to get it pretty much spot on to what I've done to get an exact copy of the bass. But just by slightly moving the cutoff, you can create a pretty much brand new original sound, which is really cool. What we're going to do is we're going to set this cutoff here 420. So we're just slightly moving it by about 5 hertz. So push our res up to 71. You can see it was just kind of starting to get that like froggy noise. We're going to push our drive up to 45. And that format's going to go all the way up to 53. Perfect. So now that we've done that, we're going to move over to our LFO2 here. And in our LFO2, we'll just set up the basic settings for now. So we're going to do trigger. We're going to do trip on again, 18T, and then drop this down just slightly so it's less harsh. And then what we're going to do is we're going to assign our LFO2 to the level there, and then we're going to assign it to the cutoff as well. And on the cutoff, we're just going to pull it back and have a really small amount of movement just to create that tiny little wobble. So we're already starting to get that sound now. We've got the basics down, we've got the wavetables and the filter, and now create the shape and the wobble to the sound. Now what we've got to do is that post section to really bring the bass out. So it's really that easy to just make the original sounds. There's nothing crazy going on. But yeah, now we just got to move on to our FX tab. So in our FX, we're going to put our distortion up top, followed by an EQ, then our hyperdimension, then a compressor, and then a filter. So in the distortion tab, we're going to go down and we're going to do downsample. So this is the distortion filter that I use most of the time because it creates this like robot-y kind of distortion to it. I'll turn these other ones off quick. You can really notice the difference there. Just, yeah, it has that really cool distortion type. So we're using that one for this. And then we're going to head to our EQ. Now our EQ isn't anything special at all, to be honest. We're going to keep everything here the same. And then on this side, we're going to change it to this peak here. Our frequency is going to go to 1490 hertz. So we'll just type that in, 1490. We'll pull our Q back to 24%. Then we're just going to boost our gain a little bit to about 4.5 dB. Type that in as well to get the exact number. That's what it's going to sound like with all of these settings on. Just take the hyperdimension, compressor, and filter off. And we just boosted that little frequency range there. And it just brings the bass out just that like tiny bit more. Then we'll move on to a hyperdimension. So for this, we're going to pull down this mix here. I'm going to have that about 10%. We're going to leave these two as they are. And then we're going to move over to our dimension side here. So we're going to do 16 on the size, 24 on the mix. And that's just giving it that little bit of stereo width that we want. Next is our compressor. So for the compressor, we're just going to slightly pull back on our threshold here. -14.4. Ratio, attack, and release are going to stay the same. We're going to boost our gain up quite a bit to about 12 dB. 12.2 dB, I've got mine on. Turn our multiband on. And then we're going to leave our multiband as is, so everything on 100, 100, 100. Yeah, we're going to have a super loud bass here. We can just turn that down at the top. And then we're going to flick on our filter now. And for our filter, we're going to go down to misc, tones. Put our cuff all the way to the right. Res is going to go to 16%. We're going to leave our dry and damp as is. Pan's obviously going to stay the same, and so is the mix. So far, this is our bass. So we're getting pretty close. Now we just need to tidy the bass up. Obviously, it sounds quite messy, like pretty much way too loud. So what we're going to do, we're going to take my filter here, my post-processing. I'm just going to run through it with you one by one. So we'll start off with our Serum effects. So we've got Serum effects here. And what we're doing is putting our filter on. We're doing a band reject. Cut-off's going to be 43 Hz. Res 43%, drive 12%, width 0, pan 50, and mix at 24%. Then we've got another Serum effects here. This one's going to be on add bass. So we're going to pull our cutoff all the way to the right, our res at 81%, drive 25%, through 0, pan normal, and mix at 39%. Then for our decapitator, which is just our saturation / distortion, we're going to go slightly above 6 here. So we're between 6 and 7, but we're inching more towards 6 on our drive. We're on A style. Low stays the same, tone and high stay the same. We've got a slight little decrease on our output there. And then our mix is 1, 2, 3, 4 notches back on our mix there. And then we've got the auto off there and the thump off. Following that, we have our FabFilter Pro R. So we've just done a little bit of EQing on the EQ down here. So we've rolled this off, so just kind of mimic this area. It doesn't really have to be completely exactly the same. We've got 0.76 seconds on our space. Our width is staying at 70%, and our mix is at 10.41%. And then we've got an EQ, which is just rolling off that low end so that we can layer a sub underneath. So before our post-processing, we had this. Then after our post-processing, we've got this. Yeah, that's how you make the sound. There's loads of different things that you can do with the sound to like switch it up and change it, make it more unique. If we slightly change our cutoff here. So yeah, as you can see, you can change the cutoff the tiniest amount, and it's going to change the whole tone of the sound. If you increase the cutoff modulation, you can get some crazy wobbles, and if you reverse it, you can also get some different kind of sounding style wobbles. So yeah, it's a pretty easy patch. Like this main oscillator section. It's really nothing crazy. I just kind of messing around, stumbled across it, and then obviously everything else is kind of adding to the sound, like bringing it out of its shell a little bit and enhancing it, brightening it up, and then we have some additional things at the end to just tidy the bass up. To be honest, this bass could do with like a little bit more compression, so I might add like a compressor onto it, and then yeah, that's literally the bass. So if you want to get this patch, or other patches similar to this, I do have a pack on my website, which I'll pop up on the screen now. It's my robotics jump up pack. That's full of like Skantia and similar style basses, and it's for a really affordable price. It's 50 Serum presets, I think. So yeah, really affordable. And then in some of my other packs and like my producer bundle, there's a bunch of drums, FX, vocal, everything you need basically. There's hundreds and hundreds of samples. My producer bundle, I believe, contains over 800 samples and presets combined. So there's a lot of stuff in there, and I've got it on a massive sale right now. So if you want to grab it, it's going to be on sale for the next few days, most likely. But yeah, that's it for this one. Just drop a comment for any other kind of style basses that you want to hear, and you want to learn how to make. And not necessarily basses. If you want to learn some other production tips and whatever, drop it down or get in contact with me on Instagram, because I also do one-to-one production sessions for a really affordable price as well for newer producers. So yeah, nice one.